Hey y'all, welcome back to the Underserved Economy. This is week 5 in 52 weeks to launch. My name is Courtney, and this week, your money story, why it matters for your business and how to change it. If you're here today, we're going to talk about something this week that shapes your business success more than strategy, more than marketing, more than your idea. It's your money story. And your money story is the set of beliefs, emotions, memories, and habits you have around money. It comes from your family, culture, community, and experiences, including trauma, scarcity, and even survival patterns. This isn't just mindset, it's deeper than that. It's psychology, it's behavior. It shapes how you price, spend, save, invest, grow, and even shrink your business. If you want financial behavioral change in your business, you have to start with your money story. So what is a money story? Your money story is the internal narrative you carry about money. Maybe the narrative you have is money is scarce. Capitalism is a curse. Rich people are greedy. I'll never be good with money. I don't deserve financial success. You only get what you work for. Those aren't random thoughts. Those are internalized beliefs formed early in life from what you heard, saw, or even lived through. Morgan Housel, who wrote The Psychology of Money, said that your financial success is driven as much by your behavior and story as it is by knowledge and skill. People with similar opportunities can have very different outcomes because of how they think and feel about money. Let's take a look at some real data from the United States. Children raised in higher income households are far more likely to attend college, earn higher incomes, and build wealth. Those from low income backgrounds experience financial stress more often, and that stress changes how the brain responds to risk and opportunity. Black and brown households in the United States face persistent racial wealth gaps. For example, the median white household wealth is often 5 to 10 times higher than Black household wealth. Let's pause for a moment. These gaps aren't about effort. They're tied to systems, access, and intergenerational stories about scarcity, safety, and opportunity. What does this mean for your business? It means that your money beliefs come not just from your own life, but from generational and cultural stories about money. In week 1, we talked about financial trauma, and we know that trauma can be traced at least 4 generations ahead of you. So some of the beliefs that you carry around money, again, didn't start with you. But today, we're going to break them down. Money experiences, especially the traumatic ones, register in the brain like any other traumas. Some of those money experiences are around losing housing. We saw financial trauma around the pandemic and COVID-19, unplanned layoffs and underemployment. Money experiences around childhood scarcity or experiencing family arguments about money. These experiences create coping patterns that often show up like avoiding looking at your bank account, not opening your mail for weeks or even months at a time, not charging what you're worth, procrastinating on your taxes or not filing them at all, and even fear of investing. These aren't lazy actions or lack of discipline. They are adaptive responses, ways in which your body has protected you. But now in business, we see that they limit your growth. In the trauma of money discipline, we learn that to change our behavior, we must address how we feel about money, what our body does when we think about money, and the decisions we avoid because they trigger old stress responses. Let's talk about how our money stories show up in business. I want you to ask yourself these questions. Do you underprice your work? Do you avoid financial planning? Do you feel shame around money? Do you wait until the end of the month to look at your finances? Do you say, I'll raise my prices later, but you never do? Those aren't isolated behaviors. They are patterns that are often rooted in your money story. Let's talk about the psychology of money again. Morgan Housel, with The Psychology of Money, reminds us that financial behavior is often emotional, not rational. So changing your business numbers means first changing your emotional relationship with money. Let's talk about the practical steps to financial behavioral change. Here's where the work truly starts and begins. Step number 1, I want you to identify your money beliefs. I want you to write these 3 things down. What you heard about money as a kid, words your family used about money, and what you believe is true now. I'm going to repeat those. Step number 1, for practical steps for financial behavioral change, we're going to identify our money beliefs. Write down the answers to these 3 questions. What you heard about money as a kid, words your family used about money, and what you believe is true now. This gives you the story you actually carry, not the story that you think you carry. Step number 2. So for 1 week, we're going to observe our money behavior. So for 1 week, I want you to track every time you feel anxious about money. Notice the decisions you avoid. Notice what you do instead of what you intend. I'm going to repeat those. Step number 2, you're going to observe your money behavior for 1 week. You're going to track every time you feel anxious about money. You're going to notice the decisions you avoid. And you're going to notice what you do versus what you intend. This builds awareness, y'all. This is the first step towards financial behavioral change. I want to take a moment here and pause, because when we are doing this work, we are bringing discernment around our financial circumstances and our financial behaviors. This is not a time where you need to judge where you are or where you're not. The first step is becoming aware that a problem even exists. And that starts by observing your money behavior. Step number 3, you're going to name the trigger. When you feel fear or avoidance, what are you thinking? Where did this belief come from? And is it true now? Step 3, we're naming the triggers. When you feel fear or avoidance, what are you thinking? Where did this belief come from? And is it true now? This disconnects old patterns from your current reality. Identifying the trigger. Step number 4, we're going to replace old scripts with new ones. This is powerful because this is when we begin to change our narrative. The narrative is the story. We're going to replace old scripts with new ones. For every old story, like, I can't charge more, replace it with, I offer value and my prices reflect that. Step 4, we're replacing old scripts with new ones. For every old story, like, I can't charge more, you're going to replace that with, I offer value and my prices reflect that. Say them loud, write them, repeat them. Behavioral change happens through repetition and experience. Step number 5, We're going to now build and develop financial routines. First step, a monthly budget. And I'm going to pause here because in the underserved economy, most of us feel that budgets are restrictive. Budgets are not restrictive. When you know your numbers, you have freedom. Budgets allow you to track what's coming in and what's going out, but more importantly, it allows you to monitor and make sure that you have more income at the end of the month than expenses. And if you don't, what you need to do to correct that. The next thing in building strong financial routines, we're going to have a monthly review of your finances with yourself and a coach. So a monthly review meeting of your finances with yourself or a coach or even a community group. Why does this matter? Again, back to the shame and judgment we carry. When you have accountability, that allows you to be able to develop these routines with the support of someone who has already been where you are. If you work with a coach, your coach can support you and provide the motivation and encouragement that you need as you develop these new habits. You do not have to do this work alone. Working with your money story and building financial routines, when you have a model, when you have an example, it becomes tangible because you see someone who has gotten out of debt, paid off student loans, invested in their future. You see it in real time as you are working to develop these steps. The third thing in building strong financial routines is having a pricing review every quarter. A pricing review every single quarter. Let me tell you why this is important. For the underserved economy, and especially in communities of color, we often prioritize accessibility over profitability. I'm going to repeat that. Often in communities of color, we prioritize accessibility over profitability. What that means is we want to make our products and services accessible to people who look like us. And we prioritize that accessibility over profitability. So what does that mean? It means oftentimes that our pricing is not what's in line with the market. And it's not in tune with what your true customer should be paying you. Again, charging what your value is on the service that you're providing. So you need to have every quarter a pricing review. As the market changes, as the economy changes, your pricing might have to reflect that. You look at that by having a pricing review of your products and services every quarter. Y'all, habits change behavior. This is what we're doing with these steps. This work is not optional. When we understand our financial circumstances, we are able to change our financial behavior. This is when we really see the success and sustainability of our business, but it becomes with awareness. Your money story drives decisions every single day, whether you're conscious of it or not. If you want real financial growth, not just revenue strikes, not just licks, but sustainable profitability and sustainable wealth, you must rewrite your money story because your business cannot outgrow your beliefs. If you have made it this far, you belong here. I'm Courtney. This is 52 Weeks to Launch. We are the underserved economy. We do this work together. So this week we start here by acknowledging our money story, by observing our behaviors, how we spend, save, and share. We're replacing our old beliefs with new ones, and we're building supportive financial habits with the support of accountability, a community, and even a coach. We're not doing this work alone. This is behavioral change, not just motivation. It's practical, measurable, and transformative. If you need or want worksheets, prompts, and tools to help you do this work step by step, in a deeper level, comment or message me money story and I'll send them to you. Thank you for showing up, for being intentional and doing the deep, oftentimes uncomfortable work that it takes to grow your business and financial life. We'll see you next week in 52 Weeks to Launch.